Welcome to Sydney Clinical Psychology's program, A Life Worth Living. This week we're going to be looking again at emotion regulation skills. This time we're going to be focusing on the families of the emotions and just talking a little bit about the importance of labelling emotions. So let's look at emotion words by family. There are many emotion words, but experts agree that they are all actually variants of a small set of emotion words, or primary emotions. So these primary emotions, it's generally agreed that the primary emotions are fear, sadness, shame, anger, joy and love. So for example, there are many fear words that fall into this category, such as fear, apprehension, dread, anxiety, panic, nerves, tenseness and so on. Similarly, there are many sadness words, such as sadness, but also agony, despair, gloom, grief, misery, pity and woe. There are several ways that we can understand why there are lots of emotion words for each primary emotion. One way is to look at the emotion words within a category as being on a continuum. So for example, if we had to look at anger, we can see that anger exists on a continuum from perhaps frustration at one end through to rage at the other. Many emotion words will fit between these 2 points. Another way that we can look at the emotion words is to see them as combinations of primary emotions. So we might experience sadness and fear at the same time and call it insecurity, or anger and sadness at the same time and call it resentment. Okay, so we've looked at the function of emotions, emotion word families. Now we're just going to have a quick look at labelling emotions. Recognising that all emotions fall into a small group of emotions or categories can be really helpful for people who struggle to label and understand their emotions. It means that they can keep a small list of words in mind to use and not get too caught up with finding the right label. It also means that you can find a label fairly quickly at times when things are difficult because you've only got a small number to choose from. So labelling emotions is very important. For a start, choosing a label is more important than choosing the right label. It's more important certainly than also making sure that the label is precise or accurate. When you're able to label and describe your feelings, you have something to work with, and you can start to match particular skills to particular emotions. In this way, labelling emotions helps change. The second important part of labelling emotions is that it's validating. You'll recall from the discussion about the biopsychosocial model that people sometimes grow up experiencing their emotions invalid. This can lead them to self-invalidate. Labelling is important as it's a first step in validating your emotions. By describing them, hopefully non-judgmentally, you're starting to acknowledge that your feelings are what they are. This is an important base from which to build your self-esteem. Labelling also means that you're looking to yourself to understand your feelings and your reactions to them, and not to others. We all need some validation from others, but we also need to do it for ourselves. Labelling, and working on doing so non-judgmentally, means that you're using your wise mind to understand yourself. Finally, labelling means that you will have more control over your feelings. You can make changes and deal with things when you know what they are, but it's very hard to do so otherwise.